We are on episode 5 of the semi-weekly or every second week, every fortnight, if you will, siege analysis video. I cannot talk, apparently, for my clan. This is going to be a doozy. I'm going to be showcasing a defense team that just absolutely ate and absorbed 14 different attacks from my clan. So definitely going to be excited to show this one off. If I remember, I did actually record essentially my attacks during this particular siege as well. That was probably one of the most suggested things. So thank you guys all for the comments and everything like that, just letting me know what you'd like to see in the series. So I'll go ahead and I'll throw those up on the screen now so you can kind of get an idea of how my attacks went. First of all, though, join me for opening 5 of these chests towards High Mother Mod. And we get no fragments for High Mother Mod, unfortunately, and 2 3-star chickens. Wow, fantastic. Amazing. Thank you so much for that, Plarium. Much appreciated. That being said, siege breakdown. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look and see how it's going. We are going against Legends of Stream, who have 11 victories so far. And this is just not on the screen, apparently. So that's pretty fun. But yeah, they seem to be a pretty high-ranking clan, 345 overall in the world. They obviously have a lot of very good players as well. A 609 million player power clan, whereas we're at 675. So it's a pretty equal matchup, all things considered. This is how the board is looking so far, so you can see that we did take out their Stronghold. We do still have a few attacks left, and we may be able to essentially get some more points. We still have 7.5 hours left. As always, I'm going to go ahead and share a screenshot on the community tab of my YouTube to show you essentially just the end screen of what actually ended up happening in the siege. In terms of our defense, this is how it's looking. So they did unfortunately take down the Stronghold. I also forgot to set a defense, which didn't help. So my defense is Sun Wukong, which you can't really see, but you know, there you go. There he is. There's my defense, right? And they defeated it. Shocker. And yeah, so let's go ahead and let's take a look and see how things are going. First thing I'm going to showcase is just the actual teams here from the Stronghold. And the Stronghold teams are not the teams that made us work for the victory. So we'll just go through this and see how it goes. We get a +1 Marius. That's crazy. We got a pretty decent team here coming in from Plagued as well. None of these defenses really seem to hold too incredibly strong. This one, of course, did get defeated by the Eva team. Speaking of which, this is coming out at a bit in the future. Excuse me. So you'll obviously have seen, you know, the things I'm talking about by now. It's going to be like a week before this one gets uploaded from the time of recording. But yeah, so essentially the new fusion, or the fusion, was announced for the anniversary, and I think it's probably damn near as close to a must-fuse champion as we're going to see in the game at this point. A lockout champion, essentially like a Yumiko, that is available for everyone, is just absolutely insane. This goes to my latest video, which was essentially just the endgame boredom, where I was talking about how I don't feel like champions are accessible enough, like top-tier champions. This champion is going to be a top-tier champion, right? You can just place petrification, decrease buffs, all that sort of good stuff. So good. Definitely make sure you get this fusion done that's coming up, or probably started now, more realistically, by the time you see this. So let me know down below how your fusion's going, and, you know, we'll definitely, I'll keep you updated on mine as well. This team did hold pretty strong. This is a nasty team. We got Sifi, Marichka, UDK, and Harima. Some people are not very big fans of Harima, but Harima puts in work even still. She is such a fantastic champion, and especially in a team like this, the survivability just goes absolutely through the roof. Like, you see, even a Teox wasn't able to take it out, right? Like, you know, and a Sun Wukong mixed in there as well. But yeah, when you have, like, obviously this is a bit weird having a 5-star awakened UDK. I'm gonna go ahead and move myself real quick actually as well, just so that I'm not in the way of the champions and whatnot. We do have essentially a defense here that survived 4 times as well. So we have an Odin, Ancora, Narcissus, and Arbiter. That's a pretty nasty team in my opinion. We have Lemon coming in here with the absolute smacks from his mythical champions. A +1 empowered Commodus, 6-star awakened, 6-star awakened Galathier, and a 6-star awakened Lazarius as well. You are absolutely disgusting, sir. I know you're going to watch this. That is terrifying. Love to see it. 25 million player power. That's awesome. That's pretty much about it. Nothing really too notable inside the Stronghold. Now, the point everybody's been waiting for. Not this one, obviously, but Defense Tower 3. This one had a team that made us spend 14 attacks to take it out. This is the team. So a 6-star Awakened Odin and Sifi, right? Already insane. Then we had Enithwi, and then we had Arbiter. So obviously, how I ended up countering it was Sun Wukong, and then I had Freya in there as well as Harima, and then on top of that we had Crixia as well. So essentially this team was just astronomically fast. Like from our estimates, based on essentially... based on our fastest champion versus theirs, their Sifi was running at least like 430 speed, which is just absolutely insane. And then you pair that with like obviously Polymorph on there, as well as, you know, whatever else they have going on the team. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Enithwi, this Enithwi is like in a god tier build, by the way, because I took him in here. Or rather, I took Taurus against him, and when I ran it with this particular team here, so when I didn't have Harima to decrease the ignore defense, he one-shot my Taurus. One-shot my Taurus from an Enithwi Blood Twin. That is insane! And then, so, essentially, if you need to know how I beat it, it was with this team here. So, Sun Wukong has the highest damage. And then, so the crit damage, so then that means Freya protects him, so then when Enithwi came in and did his AoE smack, Harima obviously helped to mitigate some of the damage, right, and she also can't be critical hit by, obviously, Demon Spawn, so she's got good survivability, and then, Sun Wukong had Freya's passive trigger on him, so all the debuffs were removed, he got an instant turn, and then I just smacked in with his A2 into the Enithwi, and it was game over. It worked so incredibly well because their Odin would essentially go right after the Sifi, like he was speed tuned properly, and he would do his A3, I think it is, or A2 maybe, where he does his full strip and then places the stun and decreased defense and all those sorts of nasty things. So it was definitely hard to get through that, right? Because I have both my Marichka and my Taurus and my UDK inside Stone Skin at this point, but both of these matches, they got stripped. There was no 50-50. It's just, hey, everybody on your team is getting stripped, fuck you, is what happened, essentially. So, I finally had to bring it in here with this team. That was the team that took it down. I then sunk another attack in against these guys here, so obviously the main priority here is just dealing with that block damage coming in from the Helicath, so that's kind of why I brought Uko and Sun Wukong, and then obviously Crixia helps quite astronomically with that as well. And then I think I actually attacked this defense tower as well, so... yeah, I had to do 2 battles against this one too. Not a particularly tough team, in all honesty, even though his player power is damn near double mine, but they weren't very fast, so my Arbiter was able to outspeed them quite exponentially, even without a speed aura. And ironically, the one that I won was the one where we did not have the speed aura, but we outsped them, went in with the turn meter boost, and then... Armand's just came in, turn meter stole from everybody. Armand's was the deciding factor, essentially, because I tried to bring in Ancora instead, because I thought that I'd be able to essentially just eat the stun. But my turn meter boosting was not enough, so essentially what happened is Arbiter went, Mikage went, Ancora went, because they're all speed tuned, but then Mr. Marius got cut in on by their Mikage, so then she essentially went and just did an ally attack onto the Marius, which was fantastic decision making from the AI. And then right after that, their Warlord came in and locked me out as well, which was quite unfortunate. We do have a defense tower over here as well. Nothing too crazy on the defenses. I was kind of looking through this, and it doesn't look like we have insane defense holding apart from that one team. Like, that one team was just so incredibly dirty, and I think this guy's going to be getting some congratulations from the team. He pulled his weight in gold. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at our stronghold here. So we'll go to defense reports. We do have Redrum, who had a successful defense. It is definitely hard to get successful defense. The same thing as like Classic Arena, right? Because realistically, you can just pick and choose your champions so perfectly that the attacker almost always has the advantage. So we had another victory here against Cody, 1994. And then Lemon coming in, of course, and getting some 5 defensive victories here, which is pretty awesome. The team that finally beat him was this. Again, Harima doing work. Harima is absolutely insane against like this team here, against Nice, against Siegfried, against Galathier, and against Commodus. That's insane, right? Like, that's such a good team. This guy's player power is at 29.5 million. This guy's at 25.6. So a very equal matchup, all things considered. And they tried bomb strategies against this before. Like, this is such a nasty team. I know Lemon, like I said, he's going to be watching this. But, like, for anybody else out there who might not understand this team is, like, ridiculously nasty to deal with, right? Because you have Siegfried, who obviously can block damage, switch forms, revive if everybody else dies. You have Galathier, who can't even be one-shot, and he does insane crowd control abilities. You have Commodus, who's just instantly activating bombs on everybody, right? Which is kind of countered by the Marichka, so that's, you know, a plus for this player. And then you have Nice, who's one of the best damage dealers inside the game right now. Certainly in, like, the top 2, at the very least, depending on who you ask and who you're comparing him to. But such a strong champion. And then having the +1 on both the Commodus as well as the Nice, as well as fully 6-star awakened on all of these champions. That is absolutely ridiculous. 1.2 million on the team power. Ladies and gentlemen, those are numbers that were, like, unachievable before, right? Like, if you talked to me 3 years ago and said, hey, Gary, from 3 years ago, what do you think your highest team power is going to be in, like, 3 years or something like that? I'd be like, maybe like 600K or something like that. But now it's 1.2 million people is what we're doing. This is just absolutely insane. The power creep is real, but it is what it is. I'm just going to take a look through the rest of the defense towers here as well. We do have a very strong defense coming in here from Nick. So we have obviously Duchess in there with her speed aura. And then that's being held together with Kimmy, Armands, and then He-Man as well. And this team was definitely tough for them to take out, that's for sure. We had some very strong teams coming in against this as well. Obviously, the Mortu Macabre pick there to try and counter the Armands, but Mortu, if he gets his stone skin stripped, he's basically screwed. Some strong teams, that's for sure, and they finally beat it with this, which is pretty nasty. 9.6 million player power account, taking out a 16 million player power account. That is pretty insane, and his Arbaeus is not even fully leveled up. I have a feeling that this guy might spend a few dollars in the game, and there's not anything wrong with spending, by the way, but somebody has to keep the lights on at Plarium, right? Has to keep the servers running, otherwise we wouldn't be here. So I guess thank you for everything you guys do. It is what it is, right? It's a free-to-play game. We have to set our expectations, but with the rest of these defenses, it doesn't really look like there's too much of note. That is an insane player power. Hold up. 951k on that team as well. So mythicals essentially just like have double player power for some reason, or team power. This is almost a 1 million, and this guy's entire account is 20 million. Like, that's pretty crazy. We have no attacks over here yet. Obviously, I don't think they have actually gotten that far, so that's pretty cool. Over here, I think, is what we're seeing. So this little mark is like it's a medium priority for attacks, which is pretty cool. I'm super happy that they've actually added this as something that you can do as a clan leader, so you can have like a high priority attack, a medium. I don't know why high priority is not like, red, but it is what it is, I guess, right? So super handy though for the players that don't want to, get in the Discord or those sorts of things. So they can essentially just come in here and say, hey, oh, this one's a high priority to attack by my clan leader. All right, let's go ahead and do it. This one, we have an epic team which held strong here as well. I have a feeling I can do pretty well on an epic team like this because I do have a +4 empowered Deacon Armstrong who could definitely help out a little bit, obviously. Bring in a double skull crown against this is very strong, obviously, right? They can't be killed. A1 absolute nukes as well, so it doesn't even really matter if they're locked out. I did pull a new legendary recently as well while we're on the topic of, not really on the topic at all, but it's Oella. And I'm not too familiar with Oella, but I know that she has, like, you know, decent reviews kind of across the board. She doesn't seem to do anything that's, like, too crazy, though, so I think I'm probably not going to build her, unfortunately. There's a few champions that I have that are just kind of sitting in my vault right now that I may build, I may not, so that's going to be King Galkabar. King Galkabar has pretty terrible ratings everywhere, in all honesty. And again, he doesn't really seem to do much that is, you know, incredible. The cleanse and then obviously continuous heal is nice, but it is predicated on having a debuff removed, which is a bit of a shame. It'd be very strong if this was at least a guaranteed continuous heal, and then an extra continuous heal based on, you know, how many debuffs are removed. The AoE block buffs is pretty good for, like, Hydra, but then again, I have a champion like Bells who also brings that same kind of thing in, right? And he does debatably a lot more with his kit, so kind of debating building those champions. And then obviously debating building Alice the Wanderer as well, especially considering we have the 5-star awakening for her. I think would be pretty cool to have her built. That being said, though, and we're kind of off on a tangent, the siege review is over, so if that's all you care about, you can click off. Thank you for watching, but essentially, it's tough to try and build out more attack-based nukers because I already have, like, He-Man in the works. Still the only champion apart from Skeletor to have, like, his own copyright under it, which is, like, ridiculous in my opinion. I mean, it is what it is, but He-Man's going to be an attack-based damage dealer, obviously, and when you start building multiple attack-based damage dealers, there's, like, an issue of gear, first of all, right? Because my first priority for attack-based damage is going to be Sun Wukong, for obvious reasons, and then after that, I don't have a whole lot left in some cases, and then I don't really have ways to keep these champions alive, so I don't have some of your really good ally protectors, like, for example, Nekrit the Great, right? Or Alaz, I think, is doing good things too with his block damage and counterattack and all that sort of stuff. So it's definitely a bit of a decision to make. Certainly feel free to leave comments down, or leave a comment down below as well, just letting me know what you would decide essentially for this account if you were, you know, the one in charge essentially. I won't necessarily build out who you say because, you know, at the end of the day I have, you know, final say because it's my account, but, you know, I'll take it under consideration, that's for sure. And there's actually time to farm for masteries now, which is quite nice as well, because obviously the event dungeon was running for like 8 weeks straight, or longer than that I think, but now it's closed, so I can spend some energy inside Minotaur's Labyrinth, which is pretty cool, and then also obviously do some training and whatnot. But all that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching. As always, the support on the channel is amazing, and as always, I'll see you guys next time.